Good evening, I'm your host, Jack Remington, the Jack Remington NFL channel. Last week, finally got the ball rolling. 1-3, lost 2. Talk about that in a second here. While we were filming, the feed came through that the late, great Diane Keaton passed today at the age of 79. I know it's a football channel, but at the end of my little graphics for some photo during the music credits, I might put a picture or two of her. I revered her as an actress. She was fantastic. But now let's do something good for her memory and try to see if we can get 5-0 this week. I'm going to talk really quick about last week, and you'll see the graphic up here. The Spaceman 1, that's my handle on this pregame copycat contest that Fishzhang runs. Let me put the graphic of Fishzhang up here first. So here's the lines for this week, and the lines are fixed, thank goodness. Not every game is picked. We don't do the Thursday night game, and that's fine. So when I do my compilation, I'm working on a compilation for the Fishzhang Super Contest Simulator. The record's going to be different than anything you're used to or see anywhere else. So Fishzhang, I'll salute you once more. You know, he's got the spreadsheet out there with the link. I mean, this is a lot of work. Fishzhang, his motto, his quote, "I'm Leslie Chow, international criminal from Seoul, South Korea. I'm currently staying at the penthouse suite in Cedars Palace in Las Vegas, and I love cocaine." It's just a joke, folks. Don't raid my house, don't raid his house, please, okay? There's bigger fish to fry. Real quick, the quarter one is over, and the winner of the end of each quarter gets some prize points, I should say, prize points. The Shaggy got $500. He got 16.5 wins. ARW 1051, I've seen him for years on these boards. He's got 16. He came in second with 200. Big Tasty Muffin, another great handicapper. I've seen him placing before in years past. He got 15.5. Bone with 15, and I got a thing for Bone later in the credits. This SC Pick 14.5. Wizard 42, 14. Nettle 76, 14. The only one I've never seen before is Nettle 76, but I'm sure he's good to get 14 points. The first 5 weeks pretty tough, as you'll see in the credits. I hope I don't make the pregame.com guys angry when I put the screenshots during the credits. This contest is wide open this year, and it rejuvenized me. It helped me out a lot. Only to the expected, I got to work really hard. I can catch these guys. Came close 3 years ago. Got even closer 2 years ago last year. Well, it just fell off the cliff. Didn't even finish 500 for only the second time in 40-some years. Doing contests for the whole season like that where you got to pick some games. This year, I'm still below 500, but I'm getting closer. What saved Spaceman 1, me, is that I've at least got 2 right every week. At least 2 right. When you see some of the screenshots of the other guys at the end of the credits, you're going to see a lot of 5 red strike throughs where they got them all wrong. I mean, and I've never seen it this early in the stage. I can never ever remember seeing so many people getting them so wrong. Charlie Kennedy, a handicapper, and he placed last year, and he placed a couple years before that. The guy is very, very good. He's not too good with the politics, in my opinion. I got him in the election bet, so that's a one-off. He's probably very good in that too. He just stuck on the wrong side that time. But he got them all wrong in week 1. I mean, I've never seen him get them all wrong before. I track these guys, I study these guys, and I see who they pick and why they pick them, and if they ever talk about it, which some do, not that much, but some do, how they got it wrong. So I like doing that on my channel. You know, where did I go wrong? And that helps the handicappers. So if you're I want you to just do the picks and do a 30-second video and get out of here. Anything I say or do is never going to help you, and you're never going to grow as a handicapper. I got experience. I bring decades. I got some stories, but more importantly, you got to relearn and readjust all the time. It's like a football game at halftime. You're down 14-3. You got to readjust. And again, there's no script. The only thing I have today is rudimentary picks, and I've scratched. I got 2 scratches. I keep going back and forth on a couple of them, but I got to do it today. I got to go to work. It's a nice problem to have. Got to cut the video out, and my assistant's gone now. He got me set up. He was stalling and procrastinating because he was upset about this Diane Keaton thing, and I understand that. His mother works in the industry, the film industry, so I get it. Let's get to going here and see if we can get something moving here, and we're going to try to go 5-0 this week. I'm taking 1 favorite that I think is going to pound the dog, and the rest I'm going to go with 4 underdogs. So it's either dog or pass. And because there's very few people that's got more than me, if I can start doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I can catch these guys and I can place and I can do some damage in this contest. I'm going to try to win it. I kind of did last week. The one favorite that I picked, I knew was going to pound a dog, was the Houston Texans over the Baltimore Ravens. I did maybe 5 minutes worth of work on that, if that. It was the easiest pick of this season so far. The Ravens are depleted. They're still depleted. Lamar Jackson's not coming back this week as far as I know as of film time. So pick number one, it is our only favorite. We're taking the Denver Broncos over the New York Jets. They're playing the game in Europe somewhere. The last time these two met, we go to head-to-head, the Broncos beat them 10-9, and you think, okay, well, what's the big deal? Well, see, last year when they beat them September 29th, 24, that was 13 months ago, the Jets were supposedly a Super Bowl contender, and the Broncos were under Sean Payton, not really. They were foundering all over the place and not supposed to be very good. And that game, the Denver Broncos, they didn't get sacked not one time by this formidable defense that the Jets had with Robert Saleh, who I thought was a good coach. But the Jets got sacked 5 times for 41 yards. You may think, well, why are you bringing up that game? Okay, well, the quarterbacks for that game, yeah, they had Bo Nix for the Broncos, but they had Aaron Rodgers for the Jets. He didn't throw any interceptions, but he didn't throw any touchdowns either. And it was a rainstorm game. So when I see a rainstorm game like that, and they were 8.5-point underdogs on most line, like I hear this shows you 8 or 8.5 points, like to win the game outright, that there's a problem. So that told me that the Broncos were on the way up and the Jets were on the way down. Now the Jets, they're 0-5, the only winless team in the NFL, the only team that has not forced a turnover. I look for that trend to continue. I don't think they're going to force any turnovers. Maybe they'll get lucky and get one, but it will be luck. Their next game is hosting Carolina. This is the deciding factor why I took this game. The first part of the equation is this Aaron Glenn. He's the new head coach, rookie head coach. He come from a winning organization like the Detroit Lions. Apparently 2 weeks ago he called a team meeting and he shouted and cursed at his team. That's acting like Bill Belichick, who is my favorite coach, by the way. But Bill Belichick is no longer wanted in the NFL. Arthur Blank had 2 shots at him. We got him on a yacht somewhere on the Georgia coast. Couldn't make the deal. They probably wanted a watered-down Bill Belichick version, and Bill Belichick said no. He said, they're going to do what I freaking say, and I will have no interference, and that's that. And Arthur Blank said no. He said, the times have changed, sir. These young players are rich. They got big money. They don't want to hear the rah, 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 fire and tombstone. They don't want to hear that anymore. Get your ass on the Oklahoma drill 40-yard line. No. They're pampered. They're rich, spoiled young American men. Most of them are American men. They found a way that they can get ahead without ultra discipline. And it hurts me to say that. But now Aaron Glenn's acting like that. I think he lost a team. This is my past experience coming forward saying that he lost a team. How many stars do you think you need to have a team to tank? You don't need all 22 stars off offense and defense and the 11 people for a special team. No. You need 2 or 3 players to just mail it in. Playing not to get hurt, save their body for next year, or save their body for the next game. And Carolina, in my opinion, is a winnable game for them. I think the Jets have more talent than Carolina as of right now. I think Justin Fields is better than Bryce Young. But that's me. They'll go overseas and they're having a good time, trying to put Aaron Glenn out of their mind to stay away from them. When they come back to New York next week and they're home, they might get it up for it, and it might be a good team effort. So that's why I'm going to take the Denver Broncos here. They need to keep winning because they know that Kansas City, their offense is at least clicking. Kansas City probably should have won that game. I got lucky with this Jacksonville pick, and we'll talk about that when I get my picks up there. Chargers, they've lost a few in a row. They need to get back on track. I mean, that division is wide open. So the Broncos need to keep on winning. I'm looking for like a blowout win here. Now, I know the NFL doesn't like blowout wins and they're showcasing these European and South American games. I understand all that, but still, there are 3 wins and 2 losses. I mean, that's not going to cut it. They know this is a winnable game. They're not going to let this game get away. No look-ahead worry for either team. I think the Broncos for sure are going to be focused. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos to pound the Jets. The Jets are going to fall to 0-6, and the Broncos will go to 4-2. Okay, let's talk about the next game. My next pick is one that's kind of shaky, but I'm taking the first dog. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns plus the 5.5, and they're at the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's strange about this matchup is that you can mix and match it. I mean, the last 10 games, Cleveland's won 5 and Pittsburgh's won 5. The last 9 games, the home team has won and covered. The dog has never covered the last 9 games. I'm looking for that to discontinue now. I'm looking for a closer game. I think 5.5 points is too much. It's just enough for me to take the chance on the dog. Pittsburgh doesn't have that much tape on this. Dylan Gabriel was a quarterback, and I thought the same thing why I picked Cleveland last week. I didn't think Minnesota had much tape on them, and I was getting 3.5, and guess what? With 25 seconds left, Minnesota scored. I needed this so-called vaunted Browns defense to get a stop. I couldn't get the stop. Carson Wentz, he looked like Joe Montana, who was 6 for 6 on that final drive. So it's a problem to 3.5. You think you're taking, you think you get 3.5, and your hook works in your favor. It only works in your favor if the game is tied at the end of the game and one of them needs a field goal. That's my best recollection in my history and my experience of telling you that's the best way the 3.5 works. Well, it didn't work out that way. If they need a touchdown, you lost. They both got injuries, but Pittsburgh's got a couple more starters on their injury list. All of them are full participation, and so the injury list is not relevant to me. Looking ahead, Cleveland's got next week. Cleveland's hosting Miami. They're not worried about that game. However, the Steelers, they're at Cincinnati. Are they looking ahead a little bit? Possibly. What else I like about this game is that Cleveland traded Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals. And so Joe Flacco has a chance to beat Green Bay twice in one season. He beat them with Cleveland a couple weeks ago in a big upset. But that's a different storyline. But that's not going to become relevant for us. We're just worried about the Browns right now. And they got the Dylan Gabriel. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I think he is the future. I get all that. Stefanskic's not that bad of a coach, and he's got the defense. I mean, they're a top 5 defense this year, if not a top 3 defense. The Browns are 5.5. I think is too many points. And Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback for Steelers. He's the statuesque. He can't move too quickly anymore. He doesn't get rid of the ball because he's older. He doesn't want to take any sacks. But that means he can more incompletions, which I think gives Cleveland a chance. The fact that when that pass rush is coming after him, he's got to get rid of that ball quick. That helps Cleveland. That doesn't help Pittsburgh. Based on that, I'm taking the Cleveland Browns plus 5.5, division rivalry, and that 9 in a row, the home team winning and covering, I think it's coming to an end. So let's get to the next pick. San Francisco at Tampa Bay. We're taking San Francisco plus 3. Now it is at 2.5. It was, for the longest time, it was 3.5. Head-to-head, the 49ers have won the last 4 in a row. They beat Tampa Bay twice at home. Winning the 4 in a row and plus 2 in a row at Tampa, normally the knee-jerk for me would be, well, Tampa's going to beat them this time, and Tampa's going to crush them. However, next week's game for Tampa, they're at Detroit. They might be looking ahead a little bit, maybe. San Francisco, they're hosting the Falcons. I don't think they're looking ahead, but I'm sure Tampa's thinking about the Detroit Lions, and I'll be watching that game between the Chiefs and the Lions on Sunday night. San Francisco won 4 in a row. They won the last 7 out of 10. That's a little concerning. Everybody keeps saying, well, San Francisco's got these retreads and they got these replaces. Well, how did the Rams feel about that? And I got that game wrong, man. I went big on that money line. I lost a money line bet on that game, 4-1. Well, it was like 470, 460, and I got it with 400. I fired. And I thought I was getting a good money line price, and I lost. I've lost the last 2 money lines like that because Philadelphia got beat the other night by a division rival. We don't know if Mac Jones is going to play or if Purdy's going to play. Now I got to get the injury report really quick here. And Tampa's got some starters still on the defense. They all had full participation except Mike Evans. Now, this thing about Tampa's my poison team. I bet on them, they lose. I bet against them, they win. They baker me. So I took Seattle last week thinking 0-3 last year without Mike Evans. And the last 3 years, there are 3 wins and 14 losses without Mike Evans as a starter. So I thought, well, this is going to continue. The stat was way in my favor, and guess what? They beat Seattle, the game that they should have lost. One mistake, and that's the second time I took a chance with Sam Darnold. I took Sam Darnold week 1 against 49ers, and he beat me. He strip sacked them when they had a chance to win the game. But I don't blame Sam Darnold last week. That's the best I've ever seen him look, Sam Darnold. I'm digressing off this game here a bit. I've never seen Baker Mayfield look so good. I know I keep calling him a chowderhead. I think he's just a clown, but maybe he's grown up a little bit. But if I'm going to take Baker Mayfield, I want him to win. But if I bet against him, I want him to turn into the chowderhead. Well, it's one of both ways. I can't have that. No one can. But you know how it goes with us handicappers. We find religion really quick, and we're one way people we want to win our bets. That's the gaming mentality. But the stat I saw that maybe take a chance on taking the San Francisco plus the 3, even though there are 11 people on the Tampa injury report, there's 18 on it, and right now I think the 49ers got the most people on injury list than any other team. I think Seattle's got 16. Seattle's second. And McCaffrey was injured. It says rest. So, and he's been stellar for the 49ers. That's my wife's favorite team, but I don't like the 49ers because I don't like the coach. And Mac Jones had limited participation in practice, so it looks like it's going to be Mac Jones, who I have no faith in. But I have faith in this one statistic that I'm about to share with you guys. I shouldn't base a pick based on this stat, but that this is the straw that broke the camel's back, or the tipping point for my pick here. Baker Mayfield has never beat the 49ers. He's 0-4 against the 49ers. And I'm counting on the 49ers to rise up again. And you know what? They're calling us frauds. They're calling us fakers. Let's do it again. If Shanahan's got any tenacity about him whatsoever, he's going to figure out how to contain this Baker Mayfield. Not just with his passing, but with his running. This Baker Mayfield has got the wheels. that he's not supposed to have, and on fourth down he keeps getting away from these people. Okay, and he's done it at least twice I can remember without going back and making an hour-long video, and he beat me twice that way. I know one of them was with the Houston Texans, and he was 4th and 10, and he got 15 yards, and he triple juked that linebacker, and Houston got mad. They cut him. So I mean, Houston had to get their first. They had the game won, and they were clearly the better team, but that kept them alive. And then Houston just couldn't score at the end. And until recently, Houston's struggling with their offense. You know, Mac Jones, he looked okay, and now he's reading the press. Now, lucky how bad he still is, but maybe he'll get some fire on his belly. Hey, you know what? We're gonna do it again. Let's shock the world by going on the road, going to Tampa, and knocking them off. I know it's not a good reason to pick a team, but you got to pick 5 games. And I want 4 dogs, and this was the 4th dog. So we're taking the 49ers plus a 3. Even though I don't like Shanahan, I'm taking a chance that the team's going to rise up, even though a lot of their starters are still not going to be playing. And by the way, Baker Mayfield, his wheels are still good, like I've just said, but he doesn't look the same as he did in week 1 or week 2. He's got that knee injury I think is bothering him. We'll see. Okay, let's get to the next pick, and that is the Seattle Seahawks at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's favored by a point. So Seattle's a dog by a point. We're taking the point. We're taking Seattle plus 1. I know what you're thinking. You know, what are you doing here? Because they've only met 4 times since 2009, 16 years. They meet every 4 years. The home team has won every time. They've played in Seattle 3 times, played in Jacksonville once. The home team has won and covered every time. Jacksonville's got some injuries on here that I didn't know about. Some of them were not practicing. But Seattle has got some. The linebacker Hall, he's out. He hurt an oblique. Without reading the entire injury list, but the one defensive lineman that was on here, Jay Reed, injured rest, but he is in full practice, so I think he's going to play. That's pretty good. So when I heard something the other day about Seattle's banged up, I had to take a look, and I didn't see anything that was really outstanding. Now Seattle's next 3 games. Okay, well the next one they're hosting Houston, which is going to be a tough one, but I don't think they're looking ahead to that. They want to get past this Jacksonville that they just saw beat the Chiefs. And we'll get to that. I promise I got something good to say about that game. Jacksonville being home and they're hosting the Rams. Are they looking ahead? I don't know. Maybe not. I think Seattle's considered to be a good team on the way up. We're going to take Seattle. I think Sam Darnold played the best I've ever seen him play. I'm not so scared of taking him anymore, even though I've lost twice with him. He had a chance to win the game. Last week they had the game won, and I think their defense kind of, I wouldn't say let them down. Tampa's offense is actually pretty good, but they had another chance to seal the game, and Baker Mayfield got away again. The coaches got to figure out a way to contain his wheels. You know, maybe you can't stop his passing. He's gotten that good. But you can stop him from getting these 4th down runs. I mean, you should be able to stop that. Okay, let's go to the next game. The last game. The Monday night game, it's going to be the Atlanta Falcons. Well, here the line's gone to 3.5, but we're getting 4.5. So we're getting 2 of these games, we're getting benefit of the stale line, the set line from the contest, and now the markets are still being more efficient. And you got the handicappers, you got to give it to them. They're very efficient. Buffalo, their next game is Carolina. They're not looking ahead. But the Falcons' next game, a little worried. They're at San Francisco. I don't know if they're looking ahead or not. Probably not. But the head-to-head, Buffalo's gotten twice in a row. And they only play every 4 years, but Buffalo's gotten them twice in the last 2 meetings. In 2022, that's 3 years ago. The players have all changed. But I'm looking for a close game. I'm looking for Bijan Robinson to run through that Bills running defense. And Falcons' defense has improved some. Maybe enough to slow them down. And maybe New England showed everybody the blueprint to beat the Bills. So we'll see. It's a good spot. And they're 2-2. I mean, they're in the race. Buffalo's 4-1. They had their first loss. And it's just still feeling pretty good about themselves. They got New England in their head rent-free now. And the guy was wrong on TV that night. He said, New England's owned this division for a decade. No. New England owned a division for 2 decades under Tom Brady. Played for 20 years on the New England Patriots. Trust me. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, they owned the AFC East. There's nothing really outstanding with the injuries that I can see of. Although the Falcons got they got a bunch of players on here, but Buffalo does too. And Milano played last week, but he's out again. I don't think he's going to play. Rapp, the safety, Hamlin is out. Kincaid, the tight end, who's a big part of their offense now, he's limited. So in the defensive lineman, Sanders, limited. Samuel, the wide receiver, limited. I mean, Buffalo's got some key injuries on here. And, Oliver, the defensive lineman, well, he's back to full practice. Milano did not practice. He's out. So enough of that. Those are the 5 picks. Broncos -7. The Browns +5.5. San Francisco +3. Seahawks +1. And the Falcons +4.5. when you look at the graphics on my little musical outro, or you want to call it, I'll put some things up here. I'm not making fun of the contestants. I'm just trying to show you that the guys that are doing all 5 games are going 0-5, and that's a kiss of death. I had 3 of them last year myself. That's why I couldn't fit it. I was close to 500, but couldn't get to 500. Some of the guys you'll see, they have 1 win. They went 1-4. That's also a kiss of death. To have any chance, and you'll see one guy, he had a 1 bagger, but he had 2 4-baggers, so he's still doing okay. You need 4 baggers and 5 baggers to have a shot at winning this contest. Thank you, players. Stay tuned for the next video.